Earlier today, before the news broke about Vince McMahon being removed as the executive chairman and any of his positions on the TKO board of directors, and he no longer has any role with TKO Group Holdings or the WWE. Before all that happened, I sat down with my producer, and he kind of walked me through the Vince McMahon affidavit. Now, I'm going to put that footage here. However, I got to let you know, this is a big trigger warning, right? I'm going to edit it, right? Because he told me more stuff than I wanted to know, more stuff than you want to know, more stuff than anybody wants to know. But there's also some bits of humor in here. Not that any of this should be taken lightly. I don't want anyone to think that I don't have any sympathy for the victims of Mr. McMahon, although it's just, really one described in the affidavit. I'm sure he has numerous victims. This cannot be isolated. I think that this is the tip of the iceberg, or maybe a little bit lower on the iceberg, because we've heard this stuff about him before. This is nothing new. However, this is very definitive, and we're going to have as much fun with this as we can. I hope you get some enjoyment out of this, but definitely trigger warnings for this. I'm going to try to clean it up as much as I can, but I got to leave some of that in there for context so that this is the real deal. And please, when you're watching this, I don't want to see anybody down in the comments defending Vincent McMahon. This guy's deplorable, disgusting, despicable, absolutely. But also, I think we should all laugh at him as much as we can. So that's why I'm putting this out here. Keep digging.
Slim Jim might be pulling out of the Royal Rumble sponsorship.
Why would they be doing that?
Well, it involves some pretty nasty stuff from Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and a potential wrestler as well, believed to be Brock Lesnar.
Excuse me? How does Brock Lesnar get involved in all this? I've been saying for years that Vince McMahon is a scumbag, right? So I assume that there's been some developments in that regard.
Janelle Grant, she was an employee of WWE, and she has basically put a ton of counts out against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE.
Okay.
And this is over basically since March of 2019. So
this is recent. This isn't old news.
No, this is a new girl of his, because he has history of having multiple women from back.
Yeah, I thought this was something old. Honestly, I've been seeing all the headlines and stuff like this. I don't live under a rock. I know what's going on. I thought it would be old. No. This is new. I mean, this guy is sick. I mean, he could do anything he wants with anybody that was willing to do stuff with him, right? You don't need to prey upon people in this position. No. When you have that much money, I don't understand this. The funny thing is I've been saying this for a long time. I've said Vince McMahon's the devil. I say this guy is scum. I said I won't watch the WWE because he's associated with it, right? And I've had people come out at me, against me on all kinds of social media platforms, wherever I've said this. Vincent, you need to thank Vincent McMahon. You need to give him a hug. You need to get down on your knees and worship at Vince McMahon, okay? Because without him, you wouldn't have professional wrestling. He's the reason why professional wrestling exists. So you be thankful for Vince McMahon is what people would tell. Are you going to tell me people are going to finally stop telling me that? Because it's kind of crazy, right? I mean, a lot of people are going to hear all this and wonder why she didn't just head for the door. Just call it off. Just head out of here. If she wasn't into this at all, then why deal with this? I know it's a job of opportunity of a lifetime or whatever. She was in a bad way. I mean, that's what's wrong with abuse of power, is you're putting people in a very difficult position, right?
So she had no job, she had no home, she needed something. So she ends up getting this legal administrator coordinator job with a salary of $75,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And she asked, should we stop the flirtatious stuff?
I mean, he's just trying to buy people. He's just buying people.
But he laughs at her and he says, it's my company. And this isn't. At which point.
This is why he shouldn't be allowed to have a company. This is what I've been saying for years.
And so after he says that line, he then undresses down to his briefs. She keeps her clothes on. But he starts kissing her and inserts his hands into her pants.
All right, this all sucks. Is there anything funny here? Because this is not humorous at this point.
Well, yeah, it's gonna
This
get
is horrible.
funny.
What you're telling me is like Vince McMahon is a horrible rapist, which is kind of what I've thought. Like that's been basically the story. Like it's not news. Like
Yeah, I mean, I'm
this
trying
is
to-
news. This is new, and he's going away like forever, right? Like this is
I would
it.
think if this becomes substantiated and it can be proven, the length of this and the proof she has, because and I won't read them, but she has some text messages from him that are pretty graphic later on.
Yeah, this is it. This
in their
guy
relationship.
is hung. Like she's got you read through the whole affidavit, right?
Yeah, I read through
This
the
is
57
over.
pages, yeah.
There's nothing. There's no wiggle room here. This guy is scum, and he's going away forever. You know how many times has he done this? Like how much more is gonna come out now? Like
I was gonna say a lot, probably.
there's gonna be a report of this daily, I would assume. And now the WWE's losing sponsorships over this. So yeah, Slim Jim doesn't want anything. And Slim Jim's been like a sponsor of theirs for like 30 years now at this point. Like
forever.
something ridiculous. Yeah.
What Macho Man, right? Was
Yeah.
snapping to the Slim Jim guy. So like her job she got wasn't even a real job; it was a shell job because she never even got the binders to show about the employees what they're supposed to do. Nothing. She never got a tour of the facility.
It was never about that. He was just buying a person. He was literally buying a person, and then he was going to do whatever he wanted to with that person. Now the headlines I've been seeing is like what? What are some of these headlines that are coming out?
Okay, so there's some headlines about like what did he want her to do and
well,
what
like Vince McMahon is a sex trafficker is what's going out. That's crazy.
So,
that's a crazy headline.
This is kind of where it goes. So once she realized her job was a shell, she's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this job, right? And
you're not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to shut up.
Yeah, that's basically what he told her, and he would not respond.
There's no job.
Texts other than sexual texts.
Oh,
that's the only text he responded. And then he demanded explicit photos, but he said he wouldn't share it. But he started degrading her, calling her his bitch, and fascinating about having interactions sexually with other people and her. So this is where it gets starting to get weird and horrible.
People like to badmouth Tony Khan sometimes, and I always got to remind him. You know, like maybe mellow out about that. You can say whatever you want about Tony Khan, but you can't say any of this stuff.
So here's a weird part that you might find so it's a little funny and awkward. So he liked to use sex toys on her, and he got very aggressive using them. However, he named the sex toys after WWE wrestlers. And he named them based off the color of the toy to match the race of the wrestler.
Well, we all know he's a racist. He's a racist, right? Something wrong with this guy. There's so much wrong with this guy. There's more wrong with Vince McMahon than you ever knew.
Yeah, I mean, and it was during
now
this
you know.
time.
And how much different is this from the way that Vince McMahon treats his wrestlers? Like, is it really that different? Like, he owns them, right? He controls them. Like, this is what we've heard. You know, for years, there's been accounts of wrestlers who have been treated in similar ways. Maybe not, sexually assaulted, but definitely their lives have been messed with. And this guy likes to have control over people. And I'm glad he no longer does, right? That's over.
Yeah.
He's done.
I mean, well, just think about the fact that he doesn't let a lot of wrestlers use their own names because he wants to control their social media and everything.
Yeah.
else.
Did he change her name? Did she get to keep her own name?
No. But I'll skip forward a little bit to all of that happening on. And he keeps telling her, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." She actually tries. She actually tries to transfer to the XFL workforce. And she
tries to get a real job, tries to parlay her fake job into a real job.
And tries, but after 1 month at the XFL office,
That's a fake company. You can't get a real job at a fake company. The XFL isn't real.
Well, it was in 2019.
No, it wasn't.
But he denied her request and got her back to the office.
Of course he did.
Told her to play dumb when she showed back up to the office. And now this is where it gets bad. In March of 2020, Vince starts sharing the videos and pictures of Miss Grant. He starts by sharing it with a former WWE referee, and Then he tells Ms. Grant he shared it, and he describes how the WWE referee left to masturbate. And you
Oh,
made a stranger very happy.
we're starting to involve other people now. We got referees involved.
Yeah.
How much of the WWE is scum, dude? What is this?
I mean,
Yo, look, people can say what they want about AEW with it being a bunch of savages, backyard wrestlers, and all the brawls or whatever, but I never heard nothing like this.
yeah, this
is crazy.
And then to keep power over, all the furloughs that they had back in 2020, he tells her that I kept your job safe to give that power again to him. So the next thing he does tells her he wants to engage in a threesome.
Of course.
She doesn't want to do it. He says, but I already planned it, and I don't want to lose a friend over it, so you're going to do it.
You know how that goes.
And it was his physical therapist. The first threesome was with his physical therapist. And she didn't want to do it because she didn't want to be thrown around like a rag doll.
I have a feeling that she didn't want to do anything that has transpired to this point. All right, Rain Dragon, like you have said a bunch of stuff on here, some of that which is probably going to get me demonetized. That is a wild story. However, this is pretty much what I thought of Vince McMahon. This is how I thought he would operate. You're not really shocking me when you're saying that he gave someone a fake job and then abused them for a year. Like, I just figure that's what he does to everybody. That's what he does to his wrestlers. That's what he does to his secretaries. That's what he does to whatever made up job title he gave this poor, unfortunate woman. Where does all this stuff come in with the sex trafficking? Like, what is going on with that? That's next level stuff. That's the stuff where I go, if I'm going to say Vince McMahon's the devil, everyone's just going to go, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he is.
So in March of 2020, they do this threesome. And during this threesome...
so he starts shipping her out now. Now she's property, and now he's showing her pictures to the referees.
Well, in this scenario, he actually poops on her.
What?
Yeah.
No. Why? Why are poopies involved?
I don't know.
I mean, we always knew he was fixated with butts. I mean, butts were like a big part of his thing. There was kissing his butt, and there was butts in people's faces, and oh, that's good shit. And like he was really into butts. He's a fecal freak.
He must be. And then after that, they had many more threesomes with that gentleman and other gentlemen, apparently. And then
this is how Vince like bonds with you, like, hey, come on over, and we're gonna all poop on each other, and I'm gonna get my fake secretary involved or my head of Poopy Relations. I don't know, whatever made up job title she was rocking at the time.
And then
this is horrible.
He apparently got bored and then decided to bring John Laurinaitis into it and make John Laurinaitis her boss. But also before she met her boss, he said you're going to have a threesome with him.
This is beyond inappropriate. This is the most inappropriate that I've... This might be the most inappropriate case of, workplace sexual harassment that there has ever been in the history of time.
And he wants her to continue talking to John, but tell him all the details.
That's crazy. This is crazy. And how long does this go on for? This starts in 2019. It goes to 2020, 2021?
Yeah, 2021. So in 2021, she's still with the threesome with McMahon, Laurinaitis, and others.
This is just her life now. This is so horrible. This is her life now. She doesn't know any other way. Like, what is she going to do?
And she feels isolated. Vince transfers her to a different department because she doesn't want to keep seeing Laurinaitis. But then Vince says, okay, you're going to work hard and play hard too. And he starts to give her photos to wrestlers.
Oh my God. So now the wrestlers now the roster's getting involved. And we just heard as we're filming this, Slim Jim has pulled out now. They're done. And what is the WWE going to have to do damage control on this? I mean, Hulk Hogan went and did his Hulk Hogan things, right? And he got removed from the website. He got torn off the WWE website and stricken from the record. The treatment, I don't know. I don't know where the scale of WWE transgressions is, where this falls in the scale of, Vince McMahon and Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit's gone, right? He's nuked off the platform. I mean, do you remove Vincent McMahon and all the wrestlers associated, like from WWE history? I mean, I don't know if you can extract Vince McMahon from the WWE tape library. That's a lot of stuff. He put himself in the product a lot. I mean, he was like the main character for years.
Yeah, and then they're going to have an issue with their wrestling superstar, who also was an MMA star.
Oh my God!
Is why everyone believes it's Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God! We haven't named him yet. It hasn't actually been. So yeah, a lot. I've heard Brock Lesnar thrown around a lot, but we don't have it confirmed.
The only other wrestler UFC fighter that I could think of is CM Punk.
Well, you got there's another dirty boy out there. There's Matt Riddle.
Oh, okay. I guess it could have been Riddle.
And he was recently let go. I mean, maybe they saw this coming. He was an MMA guy. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? There's some speculation there. It could be Ronda Rousey. I doubt that.
Could be.
But there's a few. There's a few.
But he demanded that she make videos for them, for the WWE Superstar, because he was trying to re-sign them. And then during
that sounds like Brock Lesnar now. That's pretty much Brock Lesnar.
And during that, he wanted her to do the business with the performer. However, the performer was too drunk and intoxicated and had to get on the plane.
And Brock Lesnar has saved himself. There you go. There you go. Now he has an out. Now he could. I was drunk.
Now we're still in the end of 2021. He starts showing her stuff to the ring crew and tech crew.
This is crazy. So, he's just, you can't escape being a part of this if you work for the WWE. If you worked for the WWE between 2020 and 2021, odds are you've been implicated in this affidavit.
There's a lot of people in here.
That is gross. Names, that's insane.
And then he starts freaking out in 2022 and demanding her to sign this NDA.
An NDA. This we're back in this territory. And Jericho's NDA, it don't look so bad in comparison.
Not even close.
I mean, those accusations are serious too. But this is next level stuff. I mean, this guy's dead to rights. I mean, wow.
So he hired the lawyer for her to sign the NDA.
Of course, he owns her.
So she signed it within 8 days with spelling errors and everything else. And here's a kicker. She was supposed to get paid $3 million. She's only ever received $1 million. And nothing was ever paid afterwards. So, but Vince demanded installment.
You know what's wrong though is I feel like even after you've told me all this, and I hate this, there are still going to be people who are going to tell me that Vince McMahon did nothing wrong. And there are people who are going to tell me to thank him, and they are going to blame her. They are going to say she should have walked away. Well, hey, she got $1 million and it's all fine. There are literally going to be those people. Those people are out of their damn minds. But I can't believe. I don't know. Is there anything that can even shut those people up?
Probably not. I mean, he continued to do it even after she signed the NDA.
Okay, so even the payoff wasn't enough. Even after he paid her off. He's still abusing her.
Oh, and I did miss one thing about the wrestler. I apologize, but the WWE Wrestler, one of his requests was a special video of her urinating.
Okay. All right. So
in case that's important.
Allegedly, Brock Lesnar might be into that. It makes it difficult. I mean, you never really want to find out about your favorite wrestlers sometimes. Especially old school. The more old school the wrestler, the less you want to know. We got a new season of Dark Side of the Ring coming up.
This should be on there.
I think so. Do you got any other hot headlines for us today on this very special episode?
I mean, we covered pretty much everything. The reason why.
No, I saw something else about a cat box.
Okay, so the rumor was that, the poopings, for better words, was more extravagant than what's actually in the report. So I go off the report, but the internet says that it was multiple times and
there was lots of pooping. The internet's running with this. The internet likes the pooping.
Yeah,
I have to say the pooping is the best part for me too. It helps me distance myself away from all the really ugly stuff. The fact that Vince McMahon's really into poopies is actually
it's pretty bad. But I applaud Slim Jim for taking a stand and pulling out of this mess.
Speaking of poopies, I mean, they don't want to be associated with that at all.
Nope. I mean, have you eaten Slim Jim before?
I would think twice about it now, and I'm really curious what the WWE is going to do to try and make good on this at this point. Because Vince McMahon's not a part of the company anymore. Triple H is the head of the ship, right?
Yeah. But I mean,
The Rock is now like the head of. He took a board position with Endeavor, right?
Yep. TKO.
TKO.
Actually, he's on the board of the TKO, and I mean, WWE is going to be in the crap for this,
literally,
because all the gifts that he gave her, and there's countless gifts he gave her, but they're on the company dime.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna have to pay her out like a lot.
I mean, she got a car at one point.
This is crazy. See, yeah, that's what he got into trouble for when he had to first step down. Is he was using company money to pay people off to shut up. He wasn't using his own money. He was using the company money to do all this stuff. And yet that sounds like what he's doing here. He fake employed her in the company so that he could abuse her and sex traffic her, which is just insane. All right, Jeff. Yeah. Well, hopefully next time you come to the channel, you got something a little more light for us. But I know that this is definitely what people are talking about. So we're excited to know what you think about all this down in the comments below. What do you think WWE is going to do? Are they going to remove Vince McMahon from the programming? Are they going to whitewash him out of things as much as possible? Like, is there a way for them to distance themselves from this and move forward? All right. What do you want to tell everybody?
Keep digging.
Keep digging.
But not in the litter box.
Oh, God.
Stop what you're doing, baby, and follow Mr. Hargrave from parts unknown, if you will, baby.
I've seen the demon's face.
Mark joined one half a private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
On my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.
Watch another video or the curse.